what I want to do in this episode is I want to make a UV exposure booth. I'm going to do it. The halogen just doesn't cut it. Doesn't. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to organise getting my UV exposure unit, getting it sorted. I bought myself some UV lights and they are 100% better than using a 500 watt halogen light. The reason that I reckon that that's better is because the actual halogen light produces heat, and I was exposing one of my designs, and I left the transparency on the glass, and I went out and I washed out my design, came back, and the actual transparency was smoking. It was smoking. Not that smoke, different type of smoke. And that's just not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself I've got the glass, I've got the UV light, and I'll put a link down to that in the description. And what I'm going to do is going to make a little bit of an area to hold the lights and to put the glass on and sort of make it a little bit fancier than this boy. I did get around to making my drying booth, and this is it here. My drying rack. It's not too bad. It's got a couple, and I've got a little bit of space here for more. I've got a space for a couple more. This might be where I put my 110, so these are my 160 screens. A little bit of room, a little bit of free play, and I've got a space up here where I'm gonna put a box fan, and I'm gonna get that so I can circulate the air, get rid of all that moisture and things like that, and sort of dry out this air, which won't be too bad, and it'll dry that emulsion faster, and also dry it once I've washed it, and it'll dry them quicker. I've just got this temporarily up here, so when I go to Bunnings today, I am going to buy a box fan, slide it in there, and then I'm going to put a cover over the top. I've just got some little, that's where they're going to butt up against there, so I've actually got a lip, see? So the piece of wood's going to go there, and it's going to actually stop the light from going in there, and then I'm also going to put some sealant on it. It's going to be great. So let's get out of here, and I'm going to write up what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to think about it before I leave the house. So what I've got here is a pane of glass, and I've also bought myself 3 UV LED lights. So they're all the same. I'll just get one of them out. So that's about 30 centimeters wide, and it runs on USB 5 volts. There's just some mounting things. Plug her in there, and then I'm gonna have these lined up on a piece of board, like so, just spread out like that. Hoping to do is that to get a real idea that the UV that I've bought works. It says it wants to be in a UV range from about 350 to 420, and these are 395. I'll put down the specifications, like put them here. Good. Those are the specifications you want to look at when you're getting UV lights. There's a certain wavelength that you have to get to actually expose emulsion properly. You've got the halogen lights, and the wavelength for an actual conventional halogen light is about here. We really want to come down to about the UV range of this, and then we actually expose that emulsion more effectively. We don't put heat into it like the 500 watt halogen light does. And I think that if you're going to start out, don't start out with the halogen light. Go to eBay, look at my description, get these lights. I won't put it in there if this doesn't work, but if they work for me, then I'll put the link in the description and you can buy some. You know, you might want to buy more, buy less, whatever, but LED, UV lights, more effective, more efficient, and it's not going to put that heat in. You're not going to have any fire issues. It was smoking. Goodness gracious. So I'm going to write up a little bit of an idea of what I sort of want. It's all going to revolve around my pane of glass. I'm just going to get some 2x4. Then I'm going to put up some side guards so that when I put the glass on, the glass can't move. And then just a piece of board underneath that. I put my UV lights on it. It's not going to look fancy. It's not going to look great. I'm a mechanic, not a carpenter. I put that out there. I'm pretty shoddy when I'm working with wood. So I'm going to write this down. I'm going to get a piece of paper. Yes, I am. I'm actually going to think about this one. You're going to think? You're going to think, are you? So, here we go. Piece of paper. Pen. So many pens whenever you want them. And I've got my pane of glass here. So, my pane of glass. Is about 970 by 590. So I'm going to need at least a metre length of wood, and then 6 in the middle, and then actually a decent width of wood, you know, a box like that. And then I'm going to want my glass to sit here in the middle. And then I could put some edging around there so that when I put my glass in there, then it's going to sit snug. It's not going to move around, and if it does, I can sort of put maybe some blue tack in the corners or some type of edging to sort of stop it from moving. And then my LEDs are going to be in here like this. That's all. It's going to be great. So I've got my measurements, nice and easy. 1 meter by 0.6. That's what my wood is going to be underneath. That's where my UVs are going to mount to. And then I'm just going to have some 2x4s around the outside of that, just to hold the glass up. I mean, just bear with me. I'm not very good when it comes to making things. Really not good. I just like to give things a go. But, you know, let's head off to the Batmobile, start her up, get in the Bunnings, and see what it's like. I think this is probably going to be the best thing. It's not too thick. A 9 or 12 mil thick. Oh, choices. I think there's only like $4 in it. I'll get the 12 mil. Grab some of this stuff here. Or maybe a piece of this this wood here. Right, what, buy that one? I might buy that one. That's probably the best. I'm a mechanic, not a carpenter. I think that's the way wood's meant to be. Funny, aren't I? I'm just so funny. I think I might grab what, two of them, 3 of them, 1.2s. Oh goodness, I'm gonna need 4. Bum, bum, bum. 4 of them in the trolley. Yes, for my drying cabinet door. I need to get something to come over and lock it in there. Now I need some foam. Foam. Someone has literally just left their phone here. I don't think I actually need anything up here. Goodness. What do I need? I'm done. I think I'm going to get the hell out of here. We'll see how much this comes to. Oh goodness. There we go. What a trip. What a trip. Hey, look. What did we get? Got 2 cans of spray paint. We got the bottom of my exposure unit. My sides. I got a tiny wee lock. Extension cord. Sockets to blow it up, and I got myself a box fan, all for the low price of $144.72. Look at that there, $144. Goodness gracious, this is great. Now all I need to do is go home and create this thing. Thank you. And next time you see me, I'll be in the shed. I'm back. So I've got all my stuff in my shed. Here's my box fan. What I'm gonna do is I'm basically just going to install it in this little bit of a cavity here. Yeah. Then I'm actually gonna have some airflow into my actual drying cabinet. So I'm just gonna put that in there, close it off, and then I'm gonna have some flow. Yes, one problem solved. I've got my 160 mesh drying in there. I've just degreased them. Remember, every single new screen you buy, every reclaim screen you buy or do, make sure you degrease it and then emulsion it within a 24-hour period. We really want to make sure we get rid of all the contaminants inside that mesh. So now I'm going to go grab my glass. I'm going to put it on my piece of wood, which is down here, and then I'm going to see where it lies. Look at that, it's absolutely perfect right across the edges. Then what I can do is just run a line down there, make sure it's straight, cut it off, then my wood's going to come in and it's going to set on the wood. Oh, I couldn't have gone any better. Now that I've got my base, which is absolutely perfect to the glass, now all I'm going to do is grab my wood and then measure it out. Basically all the way down there. Just get my tape measure, measure it, cut it, and then have a piece in the center, and then we should be good to go. Let's get that happening. now that I've got my two long pieces cut, I'm going to push them up against the actual board, and then I'm going to include them in my measurement for the shorter pieces. Just because it's going in between, probably just an easier thing just to have them there and include them in your measurement. So you've got that plus what's left over. As you can see, you know, this piece of wood here, that's what's left over. That's how big you want your piece of wood to be. Cool, let's get on with it. And I've just got my little LEDs in place, so it's going to be like that. More LEDs would have been really good, but it doesn't matter because once I figure out if this works, if I've got the right lights and the whole process is working for me, I can add as many as I want, and they weren't that expensive. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing this work out. So now I'll just get on to screwing them on, getting this box ready, and then I'll go about putting the glass on and see how that fits. It's coming along together. Well, I can't believe it. I actually screwed this thing back together. I screwed it together. You know, I've got the base on. I've got it all together. I wasn't recording. Oh my goodness. Now you're going to think I had someone in the... Get out of the background. I had someone doing the job for me. No, it's just me. But... I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I wish I didn't do it, but I did. So I screwed it together reasonably easy. I made sure I had pilot holes in the top piece of wood, screwed, and then joined that top piece of wood to the lower piece of wood. So just make sure you put pilot holes. You don't, especially working on edges, you know, just a nice little center line. And then put some pilot holes in it so that when you go through that top piece of wood, you're actually just sort of using the head of the nail to hold it into that lower piece of wood. I think that's what you're meant to do. I don't know. I didn't actually Google anything before I started doing this. I just have this idea in my head and I want to make it happen. So now I'm actually going to record. I'm going to make sure I'm recording and then put the glass on top and see how it looks. There we go, look, you can still see just a small piece of wood there, so it's not hard up against the wood, which is kind of what I wanted. I didn't want it to be hard up against it. See, there's still that slither, and then either side there's enough. It's just got this piece of wood here, it's got a piece of wood there. Exactly what I wanted. I just wanted to have enough of a gap. What I also bought was some door sealer. It's like weather door seal. So I'm actually going to put that on the edge where it sits, so it's not sitting hard up on the actual wood. It's going to be sitting on this foam. I don't know, just add a little bit. I didn't get any wood dressing, which is classic me. I forgot. But what I do have is I do have one piece of wood left. What I could do is I could just put like a small piece, kind of half piece there, just a little bit there, and then cut it into 4 pieces and then have it either side. And then if I want to take the glass off, I totally can, because if I had the dressing there, it'd be quite hard to take the glass off. At least if the dressing doesn't go away around the whole thing, I might be a little bit better off. We'll see how it goes. with the power of editing, I would have already done that. So here we go, I've got my 4 pieces of wood. What I'm going to do is I'm going to boom, boom, just bring it up so it's nice and clear, so that the glass can't slide side to side. Just up enough, it's only going to come up maybe a mil over the glass, so that it can't slide off. That's all that's doing. So I'll get on to putting them on. Cool. So I've got my 4 things on there. So in essence, this glass can't come off. You know, if I tip it, like that, tip it, the glass can't come off. Just, you know, nothing fancy, nothing special, just enough to stop the glass from coming off. So I've got my base, my sides, then I've got my anti-glass fall off stuff, you know. Then let me just see on my screens. The size is quite excessive, I totally understand, but that was the piece of glass that I found that I've been using. Hey presto, whatever, you know, that's what's happened. But, you know, look how much I don't actually have to fill up. You know, I can have my screen right in the middle, and then I can put a case around the outside if I wanted to make it fancy. Hey, but there it is there, look. Actually planning to do is have it on top of one of my old toolboxes. I have it on top of one of these boxes. I don't know if that lightens better, but I'm going to put it up there, and then when I actually do my exposures, you know, it's going to be up here and I can work with it. I'm sorry about the lighting, it's still a work in progress. But you're joining me on the whole journey here. So I got my toolbox here. Good. I can't believe I didn't record myself screwing those pieces of wood in. So I'm going to get this up so I can work at eye level. Let me put you down for a bit. I've got it on top of there. It's going to be quite high, but that's where I'm going to use this to work on it, and I might put it in that corner over there. Come over, just go, hey look, boom, screen, pull her out, close it, bring her over, put her on. Here I can really get in and see all my everything that I need to see. Good to get down and then really look into my screen and see what's happening. Then I can know that I'm gonna get a good crystal clear, nice lines. Oh yeah, I'm getting excited. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to possibly spray paint it. I did get some spray paint, and I might spray paint it black. Yeah, I might spray paint it black, clean my glass, and also put on my window seal stuff just to give it a nice little bit. Put my LEDs in once it's, you know, everything's nice and dry. Hey, it's coming together. Okay, after spray painting it, getting the glass as clean as I possibly can, because this glass is second hand. It has like marks that I can't get rid of, but other than that, I put up the LEDs, set them up inside, and this is what I've got. Well, it's actually been a couple of days. I went through the editing process and I was going to put the LEDs that I bought in the description. It's not possible. It is now a bread slicing post. I put a picture of what I bought up and then now what it is. Yeah, I can't actually give you a link to the ones that I bought, but hey, I might chuck up a couple that are the same. I've gone through the time process to see what time my emulsion takes to, get hard, and it's not as effective. Like, the time has gone up considerably. I started out at 1 minute and I used my exposure calculator, completely washed out. Then I went up 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and it just kept going up, and now I've found that it takes about 35 minutes for my screen to actually, I've got it just drying. I've got it in front of my LED and my halogen, just getting rid of that moisture, and actually hardening that emulsion. Today is not a very good day to leave it outside. I'd usually leave it outside, but it works. It works. The LEDs do work. One thing I did have to buy were some, I don't really have a light to show you, but I actually had to buy some panes of glass, as you can see. So I got some A3 frames. They were like $4 each from Officeworks. I bought 2 of them, and then I put it onto my actual exposure booth, and it increased that positive contact. One thing you might have an issue with when you're actually exposing screens is the actual contact between the transparency and the emulsion. If you don't have a good enough positive contact, then light can get around the actual transparency and then start hardening that emulsion, which was an issue I was getting. Those little stoppers I had on the screens, they were causing me huge issues. I went through about 5 screens before I really started to nut out what the issue was. And now I've got a screen here done, 36 minutes on this exposure booth, sat there. Positive contact is absolutely perfect. I put a little bit of cardboard on there to stop any light getting in the sides, and I actually put this fan on top of it to really push it down onto those pieces of glass and my transparency, so nothing was escaping, nothing was getting around. It's just my LEDs, the big piece of glass that you've seen me put onto the thing, and then the 2 panes of glass that I bought, which were the A3 picture frames. Took the glass out, cleaned them, so there's 2 panes, and then my screen goes on, a piece of cardboard, and then I put a fan on top of it to push it down onto the glass, and it worked out a treat. 36 minutes. I know the halogen usually took around 4 minutes 30 seconds, so I have lost time, but I don't have that heat issue, and I'm getting a really good hard emulsion at the end of it. So that's what's happened. I did have a few videos of me struggling. Oh man, I was struggling hard going through that process to find the right time, and there's no way of helping anyone or telling anyone. You just have to go through that process. It just happens. But I just wanted to let you know how I was going. It has been a couple of days since I did that video, and I did have an outro, but now that I've gone back over it, I've gotten the time down, and I have also found that I did have to alter it to get it working properly. The heartache of a screen printer, I tell you, everybody goes through it, and you just have to deal with it. Emulsion those screens, try it, then wash them, degrease them, emulsion, try them again, and just go through that process. So my LED booth does work. I love you, I appreciate you, and until another one, ciao.